Hey soapy folks, this is Kevin with Divinely Designed, and we have a soap video today. So I have been wanting to make this soap for a while because the fragrance is just fantastic out of the bottle here. Today I'm going to be using Black Raspberry Vanilla from Brambleberry, and this smells so good. I've been wanting to make the soap, but I wanted to do some like raspberry soap embeds that I can do for it. So I was looking around for a mold. There's a whole bunch out there that are they look fine, but they're pretty expensive. So I decided to make my own. So I used I have a couple of other videos out there about making custom silicone molds. So I used the same stuff. It's called Alumilite Mold Making Material Strength 3, I think is what it's called. And if you look at one of my other videos, the link for Alumilite's there. So I made these using real blackberries. So they came out pretty good. Now this is a raspberry colored one that I did, and then I did one for more of a blackberry, which came out okay, but it has like a little bit of ash on it, which is alright. I mean, I can use some alcohol spritzed on that, and that'll probably clear that up. So I have those made prior to. And I have the mold here somewhere. So this is the mold I made. I took real blackberries that I got from Whole Foods and hot glued them to a piece of foam core, and then built up the sides of the foam core, and then poured this this silicone stuff around it. And I made a mold that has I can make 24 berries from this mold then. And it came out pretty well. Okay, so that's one piece. I'm going to be doing a drop swirl, and I'm also going to be doing some piping on top. I'd like to do kind of a drop swirl that is white for the most part, but then has some other colors. So accent colors. So for white, I'm going to be using titanium dioxide from Brambleberry. For black, I'm using Blackest Black from TKB Trading. I have both of those mixed in some water. And then for some colors, I'm going to be using Celestial Colors. And I'm going to be using some raspberry, cherry, and plum. I'm not going to do a ton of them. I think I'm going to try and do them, most of it white with just the pops of color in it. And then on top, I want to do some piping to make it look like maybe there's whipped cream. So I have another set of oils over here that I'm going to use just for the piping on top, and I'm going to do that separately because I don't want them to set up in the same batch. Okay, so let me go over my recipe. I'm going to go over the recipe in percentages today because I'm not using my normal 48 ounces. I kind of split it up. And here I have 42 ounces, and in my smaller bowl I have 12 ounces of oils. But the percentages of the oils are the same. So in here I have 33.3% olive oil, 20.8% coconut oil 76 degree, 16.6% cocoa butter, 16.6% shea butter, and 12.5% castor oil. So the ratios of the oils are the same in both of those. And I just did my video on master batching, so that's why I have them poured out this way. Okay. Alright, I think that's it. And for my fragrance, I think I have just over 3 ounces of fragrance that I'm going to be using in both the pots then. And I won't forget to put it in this time. Alright, I think I'm all set. Here we go. All right, so that was my lye water into my oils. I want to keep this fairly loose, so I'm not going to do a lot of blending, just going to get it kind of emulsified. Okay. I think we're good. All the oils seem to be incorporated there. All right, so let me do my accent colors here. So we'll do a little black, a little cherry, plum, and raspberry. Okay. All right, so white, a little bit of black, some raspberry, some cherry, and some plum. All right. Let's get them a little mixed up here. All right, and let me not forget my fragrance. Okay. Right. Let's do cherry. Okay. And then next I think I'll do raspberry. Ooh, that is a great pink. I've used this this color. You can see that it's nice. That's a really bright pink. I've used this in my dandelion swirl video. If you want to check it out, so it tones down a little bit. It's not quite so neon-y pink, but it's still a great looking pink that comes out of that. I'm going to add, I think, just a little bit more plum. Okay. And finally the black. Give a little bit more black in there. Okay. So this is thickened up a little bit. I think I'll still be able to do the drop swirl. We'll see how it goes. Okay. So my white. And let's do cherry. And raspberry. Let's do some black. And the plum. Back to the white. So it's a little thick, but it should still give a pretty good design. Okay, and let's go back to the cherry. Okay, and raspberry. Okay, the black. Alright, so we're definitely getting a little thick here, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. I think it should be okay. Alright, and then finally the plum. Alright, this last bit is pretty thick. So, I think I might give just this last part here, well, we'll see. Maybe I'll give it a little bit of a swirl with a chopstick. Alright, so let me just give just because it got really thick here at the end, I'm going to just give this a little bit of a swirl. I'm not going all the way down. Just into this last, that much. Okay. All right, and if you can see on my mold, on the edge there, I have markings for where the cutter is going to cut them. So I'm just going to go to the piped top now. All right, so I have another batch. Let me just wipe off my stick blender since it's covered in black. Okay. All right, sorry, I probably should have just paused the video for a second there, so you don't have to watch that. Okay, all right, here we go. This is just going to be white. I've already added the fragrance. Now this, I kind of do want to thicken up. Since I'm going to be piping it. Okay. All right. I'm gonna pause, just because I need to wait a few minutes for this to thicken up. And when we're back and thick enough, I have a piping bag that I have in a container here. I'll be putting it in, and then we'll pipe some tops and do some decoration on the top. So that should be right after the break. I'm just going to pause so this thickens up a little bit. Well, everyone, I'm back. It's been about maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and my white is just not firming up a lot. So I'm a little disappointed because I need it firmer than this to pipe. And this other soap is firming up a lot, so I don't want to chance, them not sort of sticking together. So I think I'm not going to pipe. I'm just going to pour this on and do a little decoration, I guess. So that's unfortunate, but what can I do? And I'm probably not going to be able to use all this because I was planning on piping sort of high tops, and now it's going to be flat. All very disappointing, but what can you do, right? You gotta roll with the punches. Okay, so unfortunately I have a bunch of soap left over. Maybe I'll pour this into my raspberry mold, actually. Alright, so I'm going to do a little bit of decoration here. These are some sugar sprinkles. These are purple. think I'm going to do some hot pink. And maybe some red. All right, and then I'm gonna put the raspberries in. Okay. All right, so I have my marks on my mold, and I think I'm just going to do them in a line, I think. And I think I might alter it a little bit. So pink, purple, pink, and then I'm going to do the opposite, I think. So purple, pink, oops. Now hopefully my cutter won't chop off the sides of these, because they are pretty big. I'm kind of surprised that the white didn't. I mean, it's just not firming up at all, and the other stuff, and they're the same recipe. You know, the only difference is that other part had a lot more colors in it. But you know, the fragrance was the same. I mean, there might have been a small difference in the amount of fragrance in, you know, in one particular color or whatever, but they really should have been pretty close the same. So I'm a little surprised that they reacted so differently. But you know, this is going to be kind of cool. I think it's going to have a cool look to it. Okay, and let's finish up with some pink, purple, and my last pink one. Alright, so I'm just going to put push these down a little bit so they're in there nice and firm. Now, because I was planning to do a piped top, so these were going to be kind of bigger bars anyway. Normally my bars are around 5 ounces, or between 5 and 5.5. These, because of the embeds and this mold is now really full, they're probably going to be between 5.5 and 6, or maybe even a little over 6, depending. So, okay. All right, that is black raspberry vanilla. I had to change my plans, but I still think it looks pretty cool. There's a nice little close-up there. So, okay. All right, after the break should be the cutting of this soap. All right, thanks for watching. Stick around. Hey, so folks. Okay, here we go. So we're doing the unmolding and cutting of black raspberry vanilla. Okay. This hasn't been very long. This recipe you can unmold pretty quickly. So I want to say it's maybe 5 or 6 hours. Okay. Well, some of my raspberries got cut a little bit. Most came out pretty good. Okay, so I bet that these colors will actually develop a little bit more. The pink, which is raspberry, will get a little bit pinker. I think some of these larger ones, I think these are plum, so they'll be okay. They'll probably be very close to that. But you can see this other one down here, this cherry, will get a little bit redder, but these colors will develop a little bit more, I think. So, but I'm pretty happy with how that looks anyway. Those swirls, they came out pretty nice. That looks good. That raspberry got cut up a little bit. Ooh, those colors are looking really nice. Beautiful. The raspberries came out super nice. For the most part, they lined up pretty well. These two pieces in the middle got a little bit chopped off the raspberries, but they mostly stayed intact and lined up okay. These swirls all look really good. I'm very happy with them. These are nice big bars. These could easily be cut in half and used. I mean, these are probably 6.5 or 7 ounce bars. So, oops. Okay, oops, sorry, you probably can't see that. Okay. And last but not least, so good. Like I said, I think these colors will develop a little bit, but I mean, I'm pretty happy with how they are now. I just expect them to change a little bit as they dry more fully, because it hasn't been 24 hours. So the saponification process isn't even all done for them yet. They're still chugging away, turning into soap. So I won't be surprised if those colors aren't exactly what the final colors end up being. So, okay, that's it. That is black raspberry vanilla, using a custom mold to make the raspberries, or in this case blackberries, that I made from real live blackberries. And comments, questions, leave them below. If you like it, subscribe. And check back for more soap and bath and beauty related videos. Okay? This is Kevin with Divinely Designed. Thanks so much for watching. Bye now.